School budget discussions for the upcoming fiscal year get underway. Framingham Union nurses look to reset their relationship with hospital management amid contract negotiations, and a look back at Framingham's history within the suffrage movement in recognition of Women's History Month. I'm Brendan Fitzpatrick, and this is The Frame, Framingham News in Focus. Hello and welcome to The Frame, an initiative of Access Framingham. We begin this week with the first round of discussions regarding the budget for Framingham Public Schools during the upcoming fiscal year, as city councilors and school committee members met this Tuesday, March 11th. The initial proposed budget by FPS for fiscal year 2026 totals just over $190 million, which would represent a raise of nearly 10.5% compared to FY25. Around $92.5 million of that proposed figure is made up by state aid through the Chapter 70 program. It's a budget that reflects all of the requests made across the local school system, and with the assumption that Framingham would get all of that Chapter 70 money. As budget figures can change due to local and state revenues, along with the amount of grant money that's made available to the district, Executive Director of Finance and Operations for Framingham Public Schools, Lincoln Lynch, recognized that the number presented to local officials this week is large.
We understand that both state and local revenues cannot keep up with what everyone asked for. So we are working and discussing on how to reduce the number. And as soon as we have a target to hit for 26, a % increase, then we'll be speaking with school committee and implementing any further reductions as needed.
The proposed budget includes money for new and existing staff salaries, special education programs, expansions to preschool offerings, and funding for an in-house school bus system. Though members of the Finance Subcommittee, such as at-large City Councilor George King, noted that the budget number that's submitted to the legislative body in the coming weeks will have to look much different.
It's helpful to see this, but I do agree there's no question this budget's going to have to look a lot different when it gets here. It's just, there's no other way. It can't go up $17 million. It can't even go up probably $10 million, so.
The school committee will have to vote on and submit their budget request to Mayor Charlie Sositsky prior to the end of the month. A petition was recently filed by nurses at Framingham Union Hospital who are calling for a reset of their relationship with Tenet Healthcare amid ongoing negotiations over a union contract for local healthcare workers. The Massachusetts Nurses Association, the largest union for RNs statewide, said that more than 80% of the nurses at Framingham Union signed the petition, which was submitted to Metro West Medical Center CEO John Whitlock Jr. on Tuesday following a press conference. The petition calls upon Whitlock and other officials with Tenet, the company based in Texas that owns the facility, to work alongside nurses to resume union contract negotiations. Local nurses say that those talks have stalled following their vote to join the MNA in early 2024, as the statewide union has alleged that Tenet deliberately delayed previous proceedings. Now, with executives such as former Massachusetts Market CEO for Tenet, Carolyn Jackson, out of their roles, MNA nurses have expressed optimism going forward.
We are hopeful we can reset our relationship with Tenet and begin a good faith effort to move our negotiations forward to achieve an agreement that ensures safe patient care for the community and that treats the dedicated staff at the hospital with the respect and dignity they deserve.
This petition came a few weeks after Sositsky told the City Council about Tenet's intentions to reduce maternity services at the hospital. Nurses at Framingham Union had submitted a complaint about conditions at the site to the state and federal levels back in September. 3 new buses have been introduced into the Metro West Regional Transit Authority's lineup. The organization held a ribbon-cutting ceremony on Monday, March 10th, as local and state officials gathered to see the trio of new vehicles, which Transit Authority leaders say can carry twice as many passengers compared to their small buses that currently provide services in the area. Administrator for the MWRTA, Jim Nee, added that the new buses are powered by compressed natural gas, a source that advocates say is more efficient and eco-friendly than other fossil energy sources such as gas and diesel.
These buses don't just carry more passengers, they last twice as long. And they also align with our vision for a cleaner future. This isn't just a win for our agency, it's a win for the environment, it's a win for the residents, and it's a win for the future of Metro West.
Federal and state funding sources were used to acquire the vehicles, which are primed to be fully rolled out in May. They'll be used along Route 4N, the MWRTA's busiest route, providing service between their downtown hub and the Natick Mall. More details on the key updates we've covered on this week's edition of the show, as well as other stories that matter to your community, can be found on our website, www.theframe.news. There, you can also find full feature pieces we've completed across Framingham, along with a calendar filled with local events and resources. Stay in the loop with us by subscribing to our email newsletter as well. A reminder now that we're on social media. You can find us on Instagram at @FrameNews_, and we're also on Facebook. Just search for The Frame there. Subscribe to Access Framingham on YouTube and hit the bell icon to be notified whenever we upload a new episode of our news program each week. You can watch or listen to full episodes of The Frame on Spotify, too. Framingham's tree pruning program started this week. Crews with the Department of Public Works, as well as the city's tree warden, will be pruning trees and shrubs across the community over the next several weeks to improve public safety, visibility on roads, and the health of those plants. Some trees that are weak, damaged, decayed, or infested with insects may also have to be removed. Currently, crews are working in the first of 12 zones, in Saxonville and Knobscott, spanning between Elm Street and Hemingway Road east to west, and from Eaton Road and Potter Road down to Water Street. Pruning in that area will continue through next Friday, the 21st, between 7 a.m. and 3 p.m., with work in other zones to follow. Framingham High School's girls basketball team has wrapped up their season after falling to Springfield Central in the quarterfinal round of the Division I state tournament this past Friday. Despite the loss, this marked a great year for the team as they marked their first Elite Eight appearance in a decade. On the team's Facebook page, they thanked the senior class for their efforts over the past 4 years, as well as the families and fans for their support, adding, quote, "We couldn't be prouder of our Flyers." Congratulations once more to FHS on a great season. And finally this week, we continue our series of feature pieces created in conjunction with the Framingham History Center as the community celebrates its 325th anniversary. March is Women's History Month. In recognition of that, we wanted to highlight Framingham's role in one of the major pieces of women's history in the 19th and 20th centuries, the suffrage movement. A pair of women who were arrested while protesting for their right to vote hailed from Framingham. We spoke with Anna Tucker, the executive director of the History Center, to understand how the nationwide movement made waves locally and to learn about a unique accessory that was seen as a badge of honor to those women who were committed to the cause.
2 Jailed for Freedom pins were actually awarded. They were an honorary award to 2 Framingham women who were significant in the suffrage movement, so the right for women to vote. There were people like Louise Parker Mayo and Josephine Collins who in their own way, in their own communities, found ways to organize and advocate, and that led to this big national shift and change.
As always, that full frame-by-frame segment can be found on our website, theframe.news, along with Access Framingham's channel on YouTube. Now, the History Center will be hosting an event this upcoming Tuesday, March 18th at the Memorial Building to commemorate other local women who have had a major impact. The event to celebrate Women's History Month will begin at 7 p.m. at Nevins Hall that night. For more information, log on to the History Center's website, www.framinghamhistory.org. That's all for this week's Framingham News in Focus. For everyone here at The Frame, thanks for watching or for listening. I'm Brendan Fitzpatrick. We'll talk to you next week. Take care.